and disaster resilience. Now I deliver about our chief guest, Dr. Janardhanan Gangadulasisa. He is a professor of civil engineering at the National Institute of Technology, Teacher Training and Research, NIT, TTR Chennai, with over 25 years of experience spanning research, teaching, training, and consulting. He has made significant contribution at the intersection of civil and geo-environmental engineering, engineering education, and sustainable development. His multidisciplinary expertise covers solid waste management, landfill design and construction, water quality analysis, lakefront development and remediation, mock design and delivery, accreditation and quality assurance, blended and experiential learning, sustainable construction material, life cycle assessment. His work integrates laboratory investigation, field experiment, and computational modeling, leading to both fundamental insights and practical solutions to blessing global challenges. Thank you. Now, our chief guest will deliver the address and sharing his knowledge. I will welcome you, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening. On behalf of ATAL and behalf of NIEEE and myself, it's happy to see a number of participants have joined, and it is my pleasure to deliver a lecture in the ATAL FDP. Because the first ATAL FDP, when they initiated during the COVID, we were the forerunners and we were in contributing to them from the beginning when Sony sir was there. Until today, we had a blessing of part of ATAL in form of either selection committee or several committees we are there. Today topic what we are going to discuss is it was a course was related to artificial intelligence. But I want to discuss how the sustainable development goals need to be integrated to the curricula and also to the system. The main purpose is the new accreditation criteria in accordance with National Education Policy 2020. In the criteria number 2, the courses and the curricula need to be discussed with sustainable development goals, that you will get 20 points. In the criteria number 3, in the outcome-based assessment, all your projects, case studies which should be related to the sustainability will get you the 10 points. So overall, the sustainable development goals need to be connected to the content one way or other way. So if you observe the educational system, we are very good in providing the content knowledge. But with respect to the technology advancement, we are not focusing much on the environment side. Even though the 1964, the launch of book Silent Spring by Rachel Carson, which transformed the entire arena of the human mankind, there is a need for taking care of the sustainability. That is very, very important. In that situation, after 1992 Rio Declaration, each country they started focusing on different directions, and the Brundtland Commission came out with the definition about sustainability, how we have to take into consideration of the nature. That is what. But each university, each colleges, they are focusing on a design thinking and every aspect. But how we have to think in a design thinking, the first and foremost what we think is empathize. We have to focus on empathy. We have to focus on design. We have to focus on ideate. We have to focus on prototype and then testing. So that, however, when all the technology advancement is there, AI tools could be used for everything. Because we are focusing on AI for pedagogy, AI for everything. The artificial intelligence, the way in which we think, it has been changed. But the preserving a nature, preserving environment, it becomes a part of our system. how we have to preserve for the great greener planet and safer communities. If you see the sustainable development goals, goal number 30 predominantly focus on sustainable cities and communities. When it is focused on sustainable cities and communities, we have to focus how it could be taken into consideration. That is a very, very important aspect which you have to focus. Sustainable communities and temperature, it's a area which you have to focus. How we have to focus, that is going to be the important aspects. So today we will quickly look into it. Two aspects: integrating the curriculum into the sustainable so that greener communities and safer communities could be made it, and how it could be done we will see in elaborate manner, sir. So why suddenly we have to focusing on sustainability? For a greener community, the focus on sustainability plays important role. As I told you, the concept of environment, preserving the environment, it all started in the year 1964. Silence Pink by Rachel Carson. But the concept of sustainability has transformed the world. Even our government of India, Supreme Court has given an order. The environment science subjects has to be mandatory for all the engineering students. And not only all engineering students, all the higher education institutions. But like states like progressive states like Kerala, they started introducing sustainable engineering in their curricula as a mandatory subjects in the higher education. The reason is all these years we are focusing on environment, but now it is the right time we have to focus on sustainable. The sustainable basically focus on the, you have to think about the present, but without compromising needs of the future generation. When that is a scenario, how to work on it. So as usual in this lecture, content expressed are purely my technical perspective. It does not represent with the organization with which I am affiliated. So that is the first. So in that scenario, we have to see how it could be taken into consideration. That is the need of the hour. So let us focus one by one. Why all of us are in sustainable development? Why everyone has to? Because in this lecture, why SDGs needed in the higher education? Greener planet. As I told you, the criteria number 2 of National Board of Accreditation, as per latest criteria, graduate attributes and professional competency 4.0, there is a need and a mandate which emphasize for the every teachers to integrate sustainable development goals into their curricula. When you integrate sustainable development goals into their curricula, the greener future, the greener nature, greener planet, and everything we can inculcate to the next generation. That is need, urgent need for SDGs. And quickly we'll see what are the 17 sustainable development goals, and followed by step how we have to do two Excel sheets we have. I will show you and question and answer. Why the knowledge gap is there? Even when the AI comes, AI will only give you the steps to implement, but it will not do for you. We have to execute the work to maximize the benefit of preserving the nature. So huge gap exists between the applied policy action and scientific evidence. In the year 2015, the Sustainable Development Goals have been launched. 17 goals, 169 targets, and 231 indicators. There are sometimes 254 because some indicators are repeats twice. That is the issue. But there exists a huge gap between the policy and the evidence. And due to what? Why there is a huge gap between the knowledge and the action? The reason is fragmented nature of knowledge and data. Fragmented nature of knowledge and the data. That is the reason there is a huge gap exist. And if you see, this is caused by what? Because our tools, method, knowledge, and relevance of policies, relevance to policy, we are not focused that much. That is the issue which we added. But if you want to translate this, it became inadequate access to knowledge, insufficient data, decision making process for policymakers and practitioners. So, this knowledge action gap, which we have to address appropriately so that we can meet the requirements. So, if you see as an educator, the market demand employers are seeking graduates who understand sustainability, ethics, and social impact. What exactly we mean by sustainability? The ability to sustain for a longer period of time. Ability to sustain for a longer period of time. That is a sustainability. Second, in accreditation and ranking frameworks, even in the as I told you in the beginning of my lecture, National Board of Accreditation, they focus on sustainability in terms of curriculum, in terms of teaching learning process, in terms of assessment. 30 to 60 points direct and indirect manner. It is available related to SDG integration. The time higher education impact ranking, NIRF ranking, also focus on sustainable development goals integration. The student expectation. The new generation of students want their education not only be relative, but they want to equip to solve the global challenges. There is a mindset change in the candidate student's perspective of looking the things from a shallow manner to a holistic manner. The next generation students, they focus in a broader perspective, which we should acknowledge, which we should encourage it. Then comes ethical imperative. So as educators, we have responsibility to prepare students not just for a career, but for engaged and responsible citizenship. And finally, innovation driver. So addressing the sustainable development goals requires creativity, interdisciplinary problem solving, the core of innovation. This is what the sustainable development goals there. So, but if you observe it, there are 17 goals. What is the first and foremost aim of any individual? So, if any human beings is not having food, we have to take it into serious manner. So, but first and foremost goal of the sustainable development goal is no poverty. We should eradicate poverty. When we call the poverty is eradicated, when there is zero hunger, when the food is available to all the things. So that is a second. So zero hunger. The third, if you have a good food, if you have no poverty, if you have eradicated hunger, but the next and foremost thing which you have to remember is it is the good health and well-being. Good health and well-being. That is a third sustainable development goal. The good health and well-being should eventually, after you get a good food, no poverty, then we have to focus on quality education. Quality education should make us to respect each and every individual of this planet, both biophysical and also the woman. So the goal number 5 focus on gender equality. The sixth goal focus on clean water and sanitation. The seventh goal focus on affordable energy and affordable and clean energy. How we have to make use of the not renewable because renewable energy, how we have to promote it instead of focusing on the traditional coal, how we have to work on it, that is on affordable and clean energy. The goal number 8 focus on the decent work, that is decent work and economic growth. So whenever any public is giving it, how the decent work has to be focused. And the goal number 9 is industry, innovation and infrastructure. The focus has to be industrial growth, innovation and infrastructure. The 10th goal focus on reduce inequalities, reduce inequalities. And the 11th goal focus on sustainable The 11th goals focus on sustainable cities and communities. The 12th goal focuses on responsible consumption and production. Responsible consumption and production, because it's a very important goal. Due to industrialization, we started producing more. Eventually, when we started producing more, we started consuming more. But if you see, you're all at home for the lecture today. So your wife or your mother might have asked you, are you going to take a dinner today? If you say yes, she is going to prepare extra roti to you. If you're not going to take a dinner today, she will not prepare the extra roti. She will not waste a time or a material or a money in preparing a extra roti when you're not going to. So the production is based on the consumption. Based on the consumption only, production was prepared. But nowadays, what happened? Because of the production, we started consuming, which unnecessarily resulted in an imbalance in the ecosystem. Responsible consumption and production. But we have to remember climate action. The goal number 13 predominantly focus on climate action. So as an environmentalist, as a public, as a mechanical engineer, civil engineer, or computer science engineer, the climate action becomes a very important aspect because unprecedented change. Today, you might have seen the news article in Kolkata, heavy rain. So there is a cloud burst everywhere. There is a predominantly change in the environment system, which resulted in a pattern. So the climate action. Then comes life below water. Life below water. Because the focus is going to be the life below water and life on the land. So life below water and life on land. Then comes peace, justice, and strong institution mechanism we should have to empower each individual of the country. So finally, 17th goal is partnership for the goals. These are the 17 goals which are available. These goals, two or three goals need to be connected to the content what you are delivering in form of hunger, in form of a good health, in form of a quality education, in form of a gender equality, clean water sanitation, affordable energy, decent work and economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice and strong institution, partnership for the good. But you have to remember the 5 steps which are used. First, you have to know audit and map which course it is getting related to the sustainable. Because the case studies, the projects which you are giving to the undergraduate students as a teachers, it has to be related to the sustainable development goal. By default, for example, a computer science engineer who is working on an app on monitoring the health of an individual, any public, it comes under the goal number 3, good health and well-being. If a same electronics communication engineer and a computer science engineer or a data science experts who are working on fixing the light with automatic sensors, the automatic light when it glows and offs based on the public perceptions or human interaction, then it goes with the goal number 7, affordable and a clean energy, industry, innovation and infrastructure. Suppose if you keep sensors in the water, like a digital tins in a Jal Shakti, then it comes clean water and sanitation. Even if you keep sensors on the dustbins to collect it and to make it, then it goes with the technology as well as the clean health and sanitation. So audit and map how your courses are getting mapped to the curriculum. How? Review your close learning outcomes, syllabi, lecture topics, and assignments. Identify where the sustainable development directly topics are already being taught, even implicitly. So simple, a programming on a course, programming course, teaching efficiency, sustainable development goal number 9 and goal number 12. Goal number 12 is responsible consumption and production. Goal number 9 is in industry, innovation and infrastructure. And a civil engineering course or a water management focuses on the goal number 6. Use a simple color coded spreadsheet or a visual map to document these connections. And then comes outcome a clear baseline understanding of your program of current SDG alignment. This reveals the strength of the gap. Then comes identify correct. Take a brainstorming connections with your technical content and specific SDG. Ask yourself whether there exists a direct link or an indirect link or ethical link. Direct link, for example, does my subject directly contribute to SDG, renewable energy SDG 7? Or whether mine is indirectly linked. How does my subject impact on the society of the environment? Data analytics can be used for public health or urban planning or ethical link. What are the ethical, social, and environment implications of the technology I teach? AI, ethics, sustainable development goal number 16, peace, justice, or e-waste, sustainable development 12, responsible consumption production. You have to monitor it. So either any course connect with 2 to 3 sustainable development goals. Don't connect more courses and make into khichdi. So very simple manner you connect it. And a simple manner what you have to do, you have to appropriately measure and monitor it so that it will not create any issue to the future. That is very simple, sir. Then comes develop and audit. Modify your syllabus, content, and assessment to reflect the sustainable development goal connections. Modify your syllabus, content, and assessment, which is very important. And add a section connection to sustainable development goal in your syllabus. Incorporate relevant case studies, example cases on sustainable supply chain. Use real world data to related to sustainable development goals in the problems and example. Invite guest speaker from industry working on sustainable challenges. So you can create a projects to the students where they must involve or aligned with the SDG, where they reflect on questions, the potential social impact for on your design, and all those things. So use pedagogical approach that emphasize system thinking and critical reflection. And in-class strategy, flipped classrooms, assign videos, articles on SDG related challenges, and use classroom name for a problem solving. And debate, resolve technology X is the most viable solution for sustainable development goal Y in your our city. That is very important. So project-based learning. And from a pure knowledge transmitter, we are going to be a facilitator for sustainable solution. This is what we expect from the faculty members or the parents of the students. But how this each goal it's going to get mapped, because sometimes what happen, we think each goals are connected to some sustainable goals, that they have not been properly mapped and it is manipulating. No, because one to one and one to many possibility of mapping is possible because of the usage, and it is also not limited in nature. It goes expands with the new projects and new problems or new this thing. So perspective has changed. So the both student learning and effectiveness of the integration is very important. So the students you evaluate either by the rubrics, not just a technical competency alone, but how far they are aware about the sustainability awareness, ethical consideration, and systematic thinking. Assessing the course, gather student feedback specifically on sustainable development goal components, reflect on what worked and what didn't, and did the projects resonate with the students. That is very important. Oh, good evening, all. Okay. Foster the community. So you have to remember how it operates and what are the ways it, it goes. So, for example, in computer science and IT department, for example, sustainable development goal number 3, as I told, good health and well-being, developing a mobile app for remote patient monitoring, or sustainable development goal number 16, peace and justice, course module on algorithmic bias and fairness. How it is there for, because how you are going to establish developing on quantum technology, developing on microcontroller or ethical hacking, how it is going to be there for peace and justice. In a civil and mechanical engineering, if you see sustainable goal number 9, in the industry and infrastructure, designing a low cost sustainable housing model using a local materials. Clean water, a project on designing a small scale water purification system. In a business and management, sustainable goal number 12, responsible consumption. Develop a circular economy business plan. And sustainable development 5, gender equality. Analyze corporate policies for gender equality and propose improvements. So, like this, you have to take your subjects, you have to work on it, and you have to make it. Like this, the template is given. So, which template I will share with you, I will show you. So, this is the way which we make it. So, curriculum integration. So, what we will do? We have already grouped the content into 5 major. So first, whether are you awareness is there or preparing is there. So department, each institution should have a sustainable department, a sustainable development goal task force has to be there, which has to be given because this is also connected to the higher officials because of the connectivity what you are going to make. Sometimes the sustainable development it has been printed only in Hyderabad, but you have to remember all other areas also it has been done. That is a need of the hour. So the resolution and form a development sustainable development curriculum task force with a different specialization, student representative. Conduct faculty awareness workshops like ATAL, where we have to focus on how it is going to get connected, what are the way which is going to be made into need of the hour. That is very, very important. That is very, very important. Accordingly, we have to work on it. That is a need of the hour because we are here not going to penalize, but we are here going to connect it appropriately and appropriately how we are going to do. That matters a lot. That matters a lot. Develop a sustainable development faculty resource kit, which either through librarian or anything. So A for disaster responses, how it is worked, or a guide for writing a sustainable development learning objectives, icons, or the technical institutions, what are the published evidence which you have to have it to showcase to us to make it. And for curriculum mapping and gap analysis, so we try to put it how the gap analysis made to be made access. Identify core SDG actions for connections for the discipline. Conduct a gap analysis because gap analysis is a very, very important task when integrated sustainable. So how each goals have been connected, energy, industry innovation, responsible consumption, such clean water, everything, and course level integration. So we try to put a revised course learning outcomes as a course on before the CLO. The student will be able to design a digital logic circuit. The student will be able to design a low power digital logic circuit, evaluate its energy efficiency in the context of SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. Updated course syllabus has to be submitted because you are teaching how to design a digital logic circuit. But sometimes low power digital logic circuit is also need of the hour. For example, wastewater treatment. Frame a lecture around sustainable 6.3, improving water quality. Compare high cost, low cost, sustainable treatment options for different contexts, urban area, rural area, semi-urban, semi-rural, or peri-urban, everything. So in terms of time, you have to put it in course level integration. SDG focused case studies. For example, course software engineering. Design a mobile application for a non-profit to track the distribution of mosquito nets in a malaria-prone area. Okay, which you can do it. Suppose if you are giving vaccination, how it is covered for a child, everything, child labor, everything. And redesign assignments and projects. Make SDG connections a graded component and include reflective component. That is very, very important. So in the lab report, engine emissions and a adverse reflection on societal health impacts of the mission of you measured and the proposed 1 year in solution to mitigate them. So these are the way which you can connect to the sustainable development goal into the your own work commitment. So for example, program level. So what are the tasks it is made? What are the tasks it is covered? and how it is covered and what are the way that evidence of student learning, gather student feedback, share the best practice, and review and update the curriculum mapping annually. So, overall, the task force and what are the aspects which you have to do it. So, which creates a complete overview for the students on how it connects to the different content based on the SDG goals. So one of the first and foremost thing is you have to connect to the SDG goal because as I told you, in a tier one condition, addressing evidence for addressing sustainable development goal, 10 mark is there. And similarly, if you see tier one and solving complex engineering problem, incorporating sustainable goals is 20 mark. So these are the points which will be useful for your NBA criteria tier one condition. So in different form or other form, maybe other tier two also focus, but which I have not placed doesn't mean that it will not be there. It will also be ethics is imbibed because sometimes because of some combination we might do it, but it is imbibed and it has to be taken into consideration. How it has to be connected to the curriculum because mapping this the first part is integrating to the subjects. Till now, anyone is having any doubt or any questions? Anyone is having any doubt or any questions? Sometimes what happened to the online is we presume are we speaking to the audience or ghost like that will be fair fun because whether we don't know whether they are listening or something, but nothing wrong in it because in a system I always see in a system everything exists, but we have to have a ride towards the system so that it will get protected and we will get protected. That is the objective which you have to remember. So there are a number of participants are there. I don't know whether you have any questions or not, but if not, I'll continue this. Not a big issue. So connection of SDG into a strategic plan. Any questions there? No question, no?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, I will integrate into the curriculum because sustainable development goal more than a course. Course is also important. As well, we have to connect it to the subjects, different subjects, how it will be connected in a different area. That also we have to see because that will give more clarity to the client in observing or in
Sir,
looking into
excuse me,
the.
sir.
Yes, ma.
Sir, is it necessary to integrate the sustainability development goal to all the courses or any few courses, sir? Say, for
No.
example, like structural analysis and all, how is it possible to integrate the SDG goals, sir?
Okay, sustainable structural analysis, it's possible. I tell you, as I told you, each course now we expect them to connect with two or three. That is that each course you can connect. Sustainable development goal in structural analysis, industry, innovation, infrastructure. Goal number 12, and not goal number 9. You can connect it. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Because analysis is basically done for the innovation. It may not be directly linked, but you have to connect it in terms of projects. For example, we in a new criteria of NBA, new criteria of NBA, what happened? We give the sheets. One second, I'll show you the sheet. This is what the curriculum activities which we give nowadays. Because now I'll show you. Okay. This is important because hereafter LTP is not the condition. LTPSL is a condition format, as everyone knows. LTPSL because NBA clearly tells hereafter no more LTP, it is LTPLS because I'll show you the latest guideline. Oh, this is NBA document. Okay, LTPLS, where it is. Oh, here you see. Table 1.2.1. So what happened? Here we are telling course title, classroom instruction, lab instruction, term work and self-learning and total number of hours. Because previously we think one credit is equal to 15 learning hours. Now one credit is equal to is not 15, one credit is equal to 15 teaching hours. Now no more one credit is equal to not 15 teaching hours. It is one credit is equal to 15 to 45 learning hours. So hereafter credits are defined based on notional learning hours, not based on teaching hours. It is one credit is equal to 30 notional learning hours. So here the table very clearly the government has given as per NB accreditation. So you have to count all those things. Lecture hour tutorial hour, practical hour, self-learning hour, total number of hours divided by 30, how many of it thing comes, that is a credit for the subjects. So here after 3 credit subjects, it will not be 45 hours. It will be 45 plus 45, 90 hours it will be there. So 90 hours you have to make it. So that is the one condition for 3 credits. And moreover, self-learning has to be promoted more rather than spoon feeding. So each parameters will be corrected with WK parameters. So this is a normal anachronistic curriculum which I have taken it for a civil engineering construction material. So the 3 units have been connected with some WK parameters, WK1, WK3, WK4, 5, 6, like that. What is WK also? And we expect the faculty members to provide the instructional and technology support information. References and textbooks have been renamed into this direction because we are trying to focus on list of required textbooks and materials, citation of reading material, even your own citation material properly reviewed, it could be corrected because that is having a points. IS codal provision, it is a mandatory for all the courses, it is there because nowadays only civil engineers they are thinking about IX. It is not civil engineering. All branches they are having a IS code. The reason is if you want to be a Viksit Bharat, the two sides of Viksit Bharat is nothing but one is quality, second is skill. Quality comes only from the standards or standard code. So you have to remember the standard codes and specific technology. Then self-learning hours activities we have to give. What are the activities? Description, time, unit, CO, WK and PO. And term work activities. Time, unit, CO, WK and PO. And what are the WK also, it has been given by the NBA. So now where you are going to use it, as someone was asking, you see in your NBA criteria, case studies and real life example. You corrected sustainable development goals. For example, structural analysis. Don't teach them the procedure to analysis. Use some real-time case study so that they can understand where it is used. Solving engineering problems with incorporating sustainable goals. 20 points is given. 20 mark is given. In criteria 3, the projects, evidence of addressing sustainable development goals, 10. So maximum each subjects you try to connect it because it should be part of your strategic development plan because your strategic development plan is very clear. Nowadays, what is thought? I'll show you one area where you were asking. Okay, we are somewhat debating, but your strategic planning, you have to focus on it. So that is the reason, one way or other way, what way the goals are connected, it will be better to show it. So it gives a better clarity to the system because the students are also need to know where the goals are connected, how the value system is made, because otherwise they will land in trouble. So it is better to focus on the different goals and where it is connected, how it is connected. That will give a clarity. Structural analysis paper is a good paper, but connected to the projects, case studies, where the students are working, which goal they are working on it. It is not only with the content, but in the projects, activity, case studies, you have to connect it. Is it clear, ma?
Yes, sir.
So second thing, if you see, now the sustainable development goals are not connected only with the subjects. It's connected to the this one strategic planning because if you observe the criteria 7, criteria 8, where continuous improvement is there, here we will not focus. Criteria number 9, if you see, where we'll focus on strategic development plan. Strategic development plan will be there. You remember? One way or other way, initiatives have taken 10 mark is there. And here we'll focus on your strategic development activity. Where we'll focus on that activity, you have to focus how it's going to be there. Strategic plan, institutional availability of institutional strategic plan and its effective implementation monitoring, 10 mark. So in the strategic development plan, incorporating SDG becomes a part. No, you're not going to do extra work life. We are not going to do the part of the work we are connecting. For example, I'll make it very clear. You have a campus with a very clean campus. You will maintain the campus. You collect all the waste. You segregate all the waste. Put it a compostable waste and not decompose, but it's easily composable. So what happens? Those waste it becomes a manure. It is the Swachhata campus. So that is a sustainable development goal. Using a solar energy, sustainable goal. PLC SCADA, that all the sensors they are using for the light, it is going to be the sustainable development goal. So the activity which you are doing, it has to be corrected appropriately as per the new NBA criteria. Both for Tier 1 and Tier 2, the NBA criteria have been changed and which you have to incorporate, which you have to follow itself. So second, in the strategic planning, the new definition, all the world universities, not only there. If you take NARF ranking, Sustainable Development Ranking, the part is there. If you get Times ranking, Sustainable Development Goal is there. So this is the way which is get connected. The students are very clear and prepare the global challenges. They are also doing. The landscapes, the institutions are focusing more on sustainable development goal and they are trying to focus on the ranking system and everything. And ranking, differentiate for attracting talent, partnership, and recognition. Because when the ATAL schemes have been sanctioned, one of the criteria whether the institution is having NBA or NAC accreditation, it is one of the part of it. Now NBA and NAC they go with the SDGs, so that is becomes one of the part. So old model was silo approach where the sustainable development goals are peripheral and project based, but now it is integrated in teaching, research, operations, and external leaderships. And if you see the five framework which use a foundation and commitment, each institution should have a commitment to meet the requirement. It is comes from the top-down approach. The people always tell it's a bottom-up approach. It's no such stories. Only if the boss remembers, then they will do it. Otherwise, who will do voluntarily? That is the way the system, the people also prefers. So foundation and commitment. Next course, integration into the core planning documents. In all your planning documents, how you are going to incorporate it. Alignment of a key performance area. Alignment of the key performance area and implementation and empowerment and monitoring, reporting and continuous improvement. Monitoring, reporting and continuous improvement. So all these thing 5 stages will do. The top level management, university council or board make a resolution. For example, Anna University during Whale Sir period, he made a sustainable development goal ranking and he made the institution into be very prominent in terms of sustainable development goals. So it is they made a resolution to focus on SDG. They developed a task force. SDG steering committee was developed where the faculty, students, all the very vibrant team was there, which was looking into the SDG goals. And SDG, all the goals, nowadays you can see some foreign professors are collaborating with the developing country people with the research and publication. It is basically one of the indicator in Times SDG ranking. Time SDG ranking, you cannot have the paper publication with this. You have to have a collaboration with the developing country. So that's the way they made it. So this is the way the system operated. This is the way the system operated. This is the way the things have been taken into consideration. The capacity building, the leadership and SDG and stakeholder dialogue. Engage students, faculty, alumni, industry partners in conversation about priorities, which SDGs can have a greater impact on. So for a core diamond, mission and vision, explicit reference contributing to sustainable future and addressing global challenges as per the SDGs, how it operates and how it has to be taken into consideration, what all the aspects which has to be taken into consideration. Because in your vision and mission statement, the sustainable future has to be there. For example, if your mission and mission to be a leader in technical education research, that doesn't need a sustainable development. But now it could be rephrased as to be a leader in technical education research, developing a solution for sustainable and equitable world. Global challenges. These are the words which you commit yourself because any vision or mission contains three basic ingredients: business, purpose, and value. The business purpose and value. In the value component, it has to be sustainable future, addressing global challenges, everything. The strategic pillars focus on the education for sustainable, research with global impact, responsible in a green campus, partnership for the goal number 17. So in the teaching learning, map all the all curricula, creating interdisciplinary SDG focus program. launching a master's in sustainable infrastructure engineering, which goes with 9 and 11, or in cyber security also, or research and innovation, prioritize funding of SDG related research, clean water, energy, food nexus. Because we have had a project, food energy nexus, Indo-Japan project, we got funded. The reason is when it is having an interdisciplinary approach, we put it on goal number 2. Goal number 2 is no zero hunger, and goal number 3 also we put good health and well-being, and we also focused on energy, water is we focused on sustainable development. Goal number 6, clean water and sanitation. Goal number 7, affordable energy and affordable and clean energy. Campus organization where carbon neutrality, zero waste, sustainable procurement where 100% renewable up to which year. You cannot achieve today or tomorrow, but 2030, 2015, 2028, like that. Outreach programs, what you do with the sustainable smart city, not only sustainable smart city, for example, quality education, women empowerment, going to the nearby government college, government schools, where you are talking about to the kids about on cyber security, about on artificial intelligence. Government school, I'm discussing, because private school, but government school they accept it. The promoting the culture, community response, community engagement. These connect with the different goals. All your activity, what you are doing, it has to be collected for smarter and greener future. For example, Royal Institute of Technology, Sweden, and where they connected in the central framework 23-26 strategic planning, you see, they have categorically mentioned how they will connect it with SDGs. Not only that, you take any a company like Ashok Leyland or any our own famous Adani, Reliance, there in the strategic plan, they have clearly given what is the commitment they are making towards the SDG. SDG becomes commitment, becomes a global. So all programs, how they contribute to SDG. So how funding and evaluation has been made, collaboration with the property. So now they are consistently ranked among top for SDG 9, industry innovation infrastructure. KTH is always in because this is the industry innovation and infrastructure. So similarly, Georgia Institute of Technology, they focused on service learn. Ananesti case study also I had, but I removed it because you are all from part of Ananesti, you know much better. So curriculum integration, embed sustainable communities, challenges into existing engineering and science courses. Students just don't learn thermodynamics, they apply it to the sustainable energy systems. Project-based learning, affordable housing and urban agriculture, interdisciplinary creating a centers that combine engineering with the public policy and city planning, so that they become a challenging, strengthening local communities. So you need to take ownership in resource allocation, in incentive participation, which kindly change the moment. So, for example, metrics have been made. Annual, you have to make a participation in the ranking, and accordingly you can work on it. So you cannot do it immediately, but it takes at least 2 years for the sustainable development goal to be incorporated into the curriculum as a part of a strategy. So this is standard sheets which we developed, and which we will be discussing with everywhere. Where as a college, so what proposal you are submitting? It is in the status of to do or in progress. It is already done. What document you have prepared? So whether proposal of governing council, establishing high level sustainable development committee, composition, SDG awareness, launch of internal communication plan. So baseline and gap analysis, how the curriculum mapping is it? Curriculum mapping is a very, very important task in the NBA. We expect a separate research mapping, operation, how you are doing auditing, not only auditing of the content, review campus operation, energy, water, waste, procurement, transport, against sustainable benchmark. That is the way you are operating. Community engagement audit, that is mapping existing outreach and partnership projects against sustainable development goals. SWOT analysis, synthesis audit, because your weakness should not be a threat to you. Your strength should be an opportunity to you. That way we can make it. So each focus group you'd involve, you discuss with them, deliberate with them, and try to discuss on the topic how best you can make it so that it will be integrated. So revise the university vision and mission, which is aligned with the sustainability. Develop a strategic planning, which is get aligned with the strategic development planning. Cascade planning, but each activity of it, one way or other way, it has to finally culminate to SDG. That cascading effect has to be seen. All your key performance indicators, which are there in your appraisal, which is there also the criteria number 9, faculty appraisal. It has to be focusing on the SDG goals and SDG directions. So integrate SDG initiatives in annual budgeting process. So where we will be focusing on curriculum development, which is a part which you already did, it comes. Faculty development programs, student engagement activities, campus operation and structures. So you have to monitor it, put an annual SDG dashboard in your website, in your institute website. Eventually it will lead to the ranking. So this is the way which the greener and cleaner campus which you want to integrate it into speed, because artificial intelligence plays an important role in providing a guidelines, in providing a methodology, but it has to be applied by the faculty members as a whole. When you try to incorporate this as a whole, this sustainable development goal into your conditions, this will not only makes you to meet the requirement of the nation, it also require of the institution. It is for the global commitment what you make, because globally we make a commitment and this commitment has to be met so that it really transform the society in a better and different manner. So this transformation, it not only facilitate you, it facilitates the country, promotes the next generation in understanding the nuances of SDG. So this is what which I want to cover a part of it. If you have any more questions, any doubt, you can feel free to contact me and discuss with me now. Then we can take the lecture accordingly. Any questions or any doubt, clarification you have in this topic? Any clarification, any further information, clarification? Hello?
Sir?
Any clarification, Bhaiya?
No. Depends any doubts, please ask the sir.
You remember now the government is making all your ATAL certificates will be in Umang portal. These are all micro credential which government of India is progressing. This micro credential will eventually goes to the degree also. That you have to be very clear. So it really facilitates. You should be very happy and proud enough to take into it. Okay, if you have any
Sir,
doubt or any,
sir,
yes, ma'am.
sir, when we are doing the assessment for the students on these SDG goals, sir, so when
Uh,
for the theory courses or any courses, can we collect it in the form of, I mean, any feedback or anything as such?
no, no, no,
Because it's
STG,
not
ma,
possible.
STG, no,
Uh-huh.
no, STG, நம்ம அவங்களுக்கு we are not going to do SDG awareness to the students, but we are going to connect it to the project, how it is related only. For example, you are from which discipline, ma?
The civil structural engineering, sir, myself.
Okay, civil structural engineering. Mati is a civil structural engineering. So structural engineering subjects you are teaching on a steel structures. Steel
Yes,
structures
sir.
when you are teaching, steel structures if you are teaching. A cold form steel or any form of steel structures. In India, cold steel structures are not predominantly used, only concrete structures. But if the students working on a steel structure projects, they are working on a goal number, sustainable goal number, industry, innovation, and infrastructure. For example, if they are working on any a disaster period, suddenly they are constructing any temporary structure using a steel, then these such projects, what they are working, could be connected to sustainable development goal number line, sustainable cities and communities. So you are going to connect those goals and make the students aware about the goals, targets, and indicators. There are totally 17 goals are there. 169 targets are there. Around 250 indicators are there. 251, 231 is a without replication, duplication. So they should be aware about such things are available, because once they get into the market, once they get into the profession, if they are a structural engineer, recently last year when we went to Newark, all the buildings are making a the ranking of sustainable development. That is how energy efficient they are, how water efficient they are. They are all doing. So only we are going to connect it to the work what they do. It is no way connected with the other aspect. Our knowledge இருக்கான்னு check பண்ண வேண்டாம், but we have to connect it. Hello. This is the way. This is the way.
Sir, இப்போ in that case, sir, இப்போ when NBA evaluation committee comes, they are doing only quantitative evaluation, no, sir, not qualitative evaluation. So we have to it has to be in terms that is measurable, no, sir.
NBA கமிட்டில எங்கம்மா குவான்டிட்டேட்டிவ் மட்டும் பண்றோம், குவாலிட்டேட்டிவ் பண்றோம்மா.
இப்போ நம்ம அத வந்து மார்க்கா நம்ம அவங்களுக்கு காட்டும் பொழுது நம்ம இப்போ இத நம்ம இன்கல்கேட் பண்றோம்ன்றத நம்ம சொல்றோம். பட் அத வந்து
பண்ணீங்கன்னா
ஒரு
மார்க்,
லைவ்
பண்ணலன்னா மார்க் இல்ல. பண்ணீங்கன்னா மார்க், பண்ணலன்னா மார்க் இல்ல. அவ்வளவுதான்.
பண்ணோம்னு சொன்னா போதுமா சார்? அப்போ
பண்ணோம்னு சொன்னா போறது, பண்ணணுன்றதுக்கு ப்ரூஃப் வேணும். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் இங்க அவங்களோட கைட்லைன்லயே கிளாரிட்டியா கொடுத்துருப்பாங்கம்மா. நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா இந்த எவாலுவேஷன் கைட்லைன் ஒண்ணு இருக்கு, உங்களுக்கு காமிக்கிறேன்.
எஸ் சார்.
எவாலுவேஷன் கைட்லைன் நாங்க நம்ம கிரைட்டீரியா நம்பர் 4 ஸ்டூடெண்ட் பெர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ், கிரைட்டீரியா நம்பர் 5 ஃபேக்கல்டி இன்ஃபர்மேஷன், கிரைட்டீரியா நம்பர் 6 ஃபேக்கல்டி கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன். முன்ன 2 ஒண்ணா இருந்து இப்ப பிரிஞ்சு போச்சு.
ஆமா சார்.
ஸோ இந்த கிரைட்டீரியாக்கெல்லாம் நாங்க நம்பர், அதாவது ஒவ்வொரு பாயிண்ட் இருந்தா மார்க் குவான்டிட் பண்ணி மார்க்
ஓகே
கொடுத்துட போறோம். இப்ப
ஓகே
மத்ததெல்லாம் நீங்க கேஸ் ஸ்டடி நீங்க சொல்றீங்க. we believe what you are telling. so we
ஓகே
believe
சார்.
means சும்மா மரத்தை மாட்டை பத்தி எழுதுனா, மரத்தை பத்தி எழுதிட்டு மாட்டுல கட்டணும் எழுதுனா நாங்க ஒத்துக்க முடியல. அப்ப we will see what way it is connected. we'll see. for example இங்க எவாலுவேஷன் கைட்லைன் கிளியரா கொடுத்திருப்பாங்க. டயர் பண்ணுக்கு எவாலுவேட்டர்ஸ் பார்ட் ஏ கிடையாது, பார்ட் பி. சாரி. ஸோ இப்போ நீங்க இங்க கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் கேஸ் ஸ்டடி நான் சொல்லியிருந்தேன் கிரைட்டீரியா நம்பர் 2ல. யூஸ் ஆஃப் கேஸ் ஸ்டடிஸ் ரியல் லைஃப் எக்ஸாம்பிள் நீங்க பண்ண உங்க கிளாஸ்ல நாங்க பார்க்க போறோம். இங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா லைக் லிஸ்ட் ஆஃப் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் அ டிஃப்ரெண்ட் கோர்சஸ் ஆக்டிவிட்டி அலாங் வித் டார்கெட்டட் எஸ்டிஜி. என்னென்ன டார்கெட் பண்ணி அப்ப இந்த மாதிரி கிராஃப்ஸ் நாங்க கேட்போம். இந்த மாதிரி எஸ்டிஜி மேப்பிங் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா இதுல எஸ்டிஜி மேப்பிங் நாங்க பண்ண சொல்லுவோம். ஸோ வாட் வி வில் டூ, இப்போ சிங்கிள் கோர்ஸ் மேப்பிங், மல்டிபிள் கோர்ஸ் மேப்பிங்னு பண்ணிருக்கணும். நீங்க இதெல்லாம் நீங்க பண்ணிருப்பீங்க. உங்களுக்கு இப்போ ஒரு கோர்ஸ்ல எந்தெந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் எவ்வளவு போயிருக்கு, எவ்வளவு சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ், என்னென்ன கோல், என்னென்ன மார்க்ல 2 போடுற மாதிரி. சிலலாம் 0 இருக்கும், சிலலாம் கனெக்டிவிட்டி இருக்காது, சிலலாம் கனெக்டிவிட்டி இருக்கு. என்ன டிபார்ட்மெண்ட், என்ன கோர்ஸ். ஸோ அந்த மேப்பிங் எப்படி பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, மல்டிபிள் கோர்ஸ் மேப்பிங்ல எப்படி பண்ணிருக்கீங்க. ஸோ இது மாதிரி ஒவ்வொரு கோர்ஸ், என்னென்ன கோர்ஸ், இந்த கோர்ஸ் திஸ் என்டர் த கோர்ஸ் கோட், இதுக்கு என்ன மார்க், என்டர் த கோர்ஸ். அப்போ மல்டிபிள் கோர்ஸ் மேப்பிங்கை பார்ப்போம். ஓகே, அக்கார்டிங்லி வி வில் ட்ரை டு ஃபோக்கஸ் ஆன் இட். ஓகே, இப்படி தான் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, இப்படி தான் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, இதுதான் ப்ரொசீஜர். இது பத்தி நீங்க ப்ரூஃப் காமிக்கணும். நீங்க சொன்னாலும் இப்போ நாங்க
ஓகே சார்.
பசங்க கிட்டயும் டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுவோம். இப்போ நாங்க ஸ்டூடெண்ட் இன்டராக்ட் பண்ணுவோம், லேபரட்டரியிலையும் தியரி கிளாஸ்லையும் கிரைட்டீரியா நம்பர் 4 படி. ஸோ அப்போ பேசும்போது நாங்க வந்து வி கனெக்ட் பிகாஸ் வி நோ வென் டு ஃபைண்ட் அண்ட் ஹவு டு ஃபைண்ட் இட். ஸோ அப்போ நாங்கள் விசிட் போகும்போது இப்போ கூட ஒரு காலேஜ் போயிருந்தோம், அங்கே கேட்போம் சஸ்டைனபிள் டெவலப்மெண்ட் கோல் பேசு. இப்போ எல்லா காலேஜிலும் பெருசு பெருசா போஸ்டர் போட்டிருக்காங்க, பேனர் போட்டிருக்காங்க, மக்களுக்குலாம் நல்லா தெரியுது.
ஓகே சார். ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ சார்.
Sir, any other questions from the participants, sir?
Okay, no other.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, very much thankful, sir. It's a very especially grateful for your valuable ideas and knowledge shared with us, sir. We sincerely thank for your time and inspiring presence, sir. Very much thank you, sir. We can now wind up, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, dear participants, and the next session will be continued at 7:30 p.m. We have 20 minutes break. The next session, Mr. Dr. Vinodan will be handle the next session, and it will start at 7:30. Thank you, participants. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And the feedback link is shared in the chat box. Please put the feedback and attendance for the session 5 of the day 3. Dear participants, please come around 7:30 p.m. Thank you very much, sir.
We discuss about here we discuss about the climate resilience. Now the slide shows the climatic oceans and modulars of system of variability. We have to discuss about the cities of rapidly with 70% of population expected to live in the urban areas by 2050. We face the significant challenges in maintaining the livability, resilience, and sustainability. The climate change exacerbates these challenges with increasing of risk of floods, rising temperature, and resource scarcity. This makes the climate resilience, the ability of cities to adapt the recover of such challenges like crucial moments. Simultaneously, the smart city design offers a solution of integrating of technology such as AI and IoT. The data analysis system of optimize of infrastructure enhance the resource efficiently to maintain that sustainability and mobility, to focusing the eco-friendly and efficient transport system like public transit, electric vehicles, and shared mobility to reduce the emission and support the connectivity. We have to use the public utility for reduce the emission of vehicles fuels, to reduce the fuels, make EV vehicles, and use that for that climate changes to envision of smarter, greener, and more resilient of urban future. Climate resilience is the capacity of communities like ecosystems and infrastructure to anticipate, to prepare the respond, the recover from the adverse effects of climate changes. It involves the adaptivity of challenges like weather changes, rising of sea levels, troughs, resource scarcity, while minimizing the maintaining of essential functions like to the climate stresses. The importance of climate resilience cannot be observed by overstate of today world, where urbanization and climate change are conveying of to create the unpredicted risk. These bricks are these de-wasting of impacts like climate resorts and hazards ensures that urban areas like remain the livable despite two challenges rise, rising temperature and unpredictable weather patterns. The climate resilience also reduce the economic losses like distribution of business, industries, business services during the climate events. Strengthening of infrastructure is a crucial part of this process to encouraging the development of robot systems. The key aspects of climate resilience is sustainability. It emphasizes the efficient sources such as conversing of water and energy to promote the practice of reduce the environmental harm. The climate resilience also enhances the rapid responsible of mechanisms of mitigations and impacts of natural disasters. Furthermore, the fosters of innovation by driving the adaptation of cutting of edges of technologies like artificial intelligence for climate predictions, for IoT and smart intelligence and smart city projects. When we discuss about the smart city project means what? Smart city is an urban area that integrates the advanced technology of driving by means of ICT and IoT, Internet of Things. The artificial intelligence to optimize the resource, provide seamless services, and ensure well-being its citizens. It represents the forward-thinking of approach to urban development that addresses the modern challenges such as population growth, climate change, and resource scarcity. These are the major sources of smart city. One of the core principles of smart city is technology integration. The smart cities deploy the IoT sensors, AI sensors, and powered by the infrastructure. That is to manage the urban infrastructure, including energy, transportation, water, and main source of AI-driven public safety tools to enhance the security. And another one is sustainability. The another crucial and critical principle is sustainability. The sustainability, which is the heart of smart city development. The smart cities aim to reduce the environmental impact and promoting renewable energy managing sources by the means of sustainability initiative of smart cities align with the global efforts to combat the climate change to ensure the future generations. The third key principle is citizen-centric design, which is focus of placing of residents at the center of development by the smart city aim to improve the quality of life by enhancing the public services. The smart city represent a balanced approach of urban development by combining of technology and sustainability by means of technological advancement and environmental friendly by addressing the present challenges which preparing the further future and developments of the smart city projects. We focus on the climate resilience in a smart cities is crucial because the urban areas are increasing their renewable sources like water enhancement and due to the flooding and resource scarcity as more than that into the cities of modern risks associated with climate change in that making of integrate of resilience into urban planning and safeguard the people for the infrastructure and ecosystems. The importance of integrating resilience in urban planning is to ability to ensure that cities can be withstand and adapt to the climate resilience to allow the cities to productivity identification of implement of strategies to improving the infrastructure to handle extreme weather, promoting the sustainable resources management, and ensuring the cities can recover the quickly after the disasters. This is the main motive of to improve our sustainable energy sources. Then we go for the green infrastructure. Green infrastructure like park, wetlands, permeable surfaces like manage storm water to reduce the urban islands, making the cities more adaptable to climate stresses. The moreover, the climate resilience is linked to the sustainability for a green city projects to the environmental supportive one. The cities remain that sustainable in the long term for, for reducing that carbon footprint and environmental impact by embedding the system of reduction of pollution to identifying that, excuse me, any sound is behind that despite of climate changes challenges thereof the integrating of resilience in smart cities is essential for building for urban areas that is adaptable for safe and capable for weathering and the impact of climate change. We discuss about now the important source air pollution is one of the major problem in our cities. In Delhi, the air pollution is very worst climate and very worst temperature and maintaining the very harmful to the human. First we have to reduce the air pollution by the Delhi regularity ranking among the cities in worst air quality globally. The pollution is primarily caused by the vehicle emissions, industrial activities, and banning of crop residue. in surrounding areas like that, including the respiratory diseases, particularly the peoples or in the population located at Delhi is very much affected by pulmonology diseases and heart diseases due to the pollution. In that same issue, another major issue at Delhi is water scarcity. Despite being to the home of millions, the city faces ongoing challenges in managing the water resources. The rapid population growth, industrialization to reduce the availability of groundwater and having the lead the water shortages during the water recycling projects and the construction of new reservoirs. Additionally, the city has an urban and heat island effect is becoming more pronounced, where the high concentration of concrete and limited green spaces for the result of futurely elevated temperatures. In UAE also, yeah, elevated temperature, very heat temperature is going there. Around 45 degrees is easily going there in UAE. We are facing lot of difficulties in the temperature. For the limited green spaces, we have facing lot of emotional and very critical situation of climatic resilience. For that, Delhi is also the flooding portion also there available during the monsoon season. The cities are very worst to drainage and infrastructure problems, and they are facing lot of difficulties. In smart city design, we go for an smart city by means of smart infrastructure, which includes that intelligence of transportation, networks, energy efficient buildings, and integrated utility systems by using that, reducing the city carbon footprint, small gridders, smart gridders, and optimize the energy distribution while energy efficient technology is reduce consumption. The smart mobility and the transportation component focuses on reducing the traffic congestion and pollution through the integrated public transportation like buses and sharing moments, electric vehicles, EV vehicle charging stations, and autonomous vehicles. These efforts are supported by the real-time traffic data that help to optimize the flow and reduce the delay, and the population congestion will be reduced. Then we go for water and wastewater management. In this integral system of water, we can go for green spaces and environmental sustainability efforts like urban park, green infrastructure, mitigate the environmental impacts like smart governance and citizen engagement to enhance the e-governance platform. The security and safety system in smart cities are such as surveillance camera, predictive policing, and enhancing the public safety and improve the emergency response. It additionally to the healthcare, educational service are transferred through the digital platforms. We can use the digital platforms to healthcare and education and data analytic is used for the resilience and disaster management focus on integrating the early warning systems at adaptive infrastructure and emergencing the response of technologies to prevent the maximum utility of people in smart city. It gives the future developments and enhancement. Same time, the sustainable cities sites approaches the focus of integrating the nature into urban planning and development rather than the relying the gray infrastructure like concrete and steel. Urban greenery is such as parks, street light, and solar pumps, and green roofs. Community gardens plays a crucial role in the improving the air quality by absorbing the carbon dioxide and relaxing the oxygen. And these green spaces are also reduce the urban and island effects, which occurs the cities, which followed by the formation of the supplies and reducing the runoff that pollute the water pollution and water bodies. To moreover, the green infrastructure supports the biodiversity by creating the habitats and for the wildlife, including the birds, insects, and small mammals. It reduces the green spaces serve as a communal and the areas of relaxation of physical activity and community interaction for forecasting a sense of connection and belonging with the neighborhoods. Improving the green infrastructure into urban design is not only a beneficial to the environment and also for the economy. It green spaces can increase the follow-up of various of mental health. Furthermore, the cities are growing like challenges of climate change. Green infrastructure offer a natural based solution to migrate to follow up the all deformation of extreme weather events such as floods, heat waves, and troughs. Overall, the green infrastructure is essential for creating the sustainable, livable, and the cities are forming the smart grids. We go for the smart grids. In the electrical efficient and energy management system, 5. Digital electricity distribution system. A smart grid is an advanced digitalized electricity distribution system for using this technology to improve the efficiency, reliability, and sustainability of the energy delivery. Unlike the traditional grids which rely the one-way communication and manual work, which the smart grids use sensors, communication networks, and data analysts to enable the two-way communication between the utility of the company and consumers. This network allows for real-time monitoring and management of electricity flow to enhance the overall performance of the grid. One of the key features of the smart grid is availability and ability to integrate the renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power. In this solar and wind power, the renewable energy, please kindly mute it. Yes, the redisbursement of the efficiency without the over helping the system of to promote the cleaner energy mix to reduce the dependence on fossil fuels and support sustainability. Energy efficiency is another significant benefits of smart grids that are used for smart meters, which to provide the real-time data on energy consumption. Moreover, the efficiency this leads to more informed decisions making, allowing can be better matched to the energy supply to demand. Additionally, the smart grid can be automatically detected by the formation of significant distribution of daily routines. In that, the energy storage technology is another important aspect of smart grids. The batteries and other storage systems allow the excess energy to generate the during the periods of low demands. This will be changes into that ensuring the energy available during the power shortages and emergencies. The sustainable transportation is a critical element of smart city development. By focusing the reducing the environmental impact by enhancing the mobility and the structure of EV, public transit system, digital technologies like real-time tracking and route optimization, this helps to improve the service and availability of to reduce the energy consumption, shared mobility options such as car sharing, bike sharing, ride hailing, and a component of this system, personal vehicle ownership that should be maintained for the especially beneficial in the climate resilience by making the urban transportation. These are the sustainable transportation methods we have used for bicycles, EV vehicles, car sharing, bike and EV charging points, etc. Same time, the wastewater management system role for IoT and AI in waste optimization and climate resilience, we have to see that the analysis of effective waste management in a cornerstone of sustainable urban development and plays a significant role in enhancing the climate resilience with the rapid urbanization for increasing the wastewater and the waste production of cities faces mounting challenges in managing the waste efficiency while minimizing the environmental impact. The IoT and AI for transforming the waste management system by enabling smarter, more efficient data for the driven of the waste collection of recycling methods. Some methods are we have to see. We have to change the distribution of waste and change the infection of rate of people and change in the disposal of timings and frequency, change in water consumption, change in safety and infection rates, change in water and
போயிட்டு
waste.
வந்து டயர்டாவே படுத்துருக்கான் சாப்பிட்டு
In the building climate resilience, we have to go for an environmental monitoring and conservation of the AI by transferring the way of cities by monitoring the mitigation by the adaptation of the wildlife conservation, and the building climate change will be integrated technology for future cities by means of the smart cities which aim to thrive on increasing climate change challenges as a urban population growth and environmental risk become more severe. The climate resilience into design of the development of smart cities into crucial for safeguarding the urban environments. This integration focuses on ensuring the cities are not only the more sustainable and also adaptable for the effects of climate change, such as floods, heat waves, and rises of sea levels. By the smart urban design, we have the leverages and advantages of innovative technologies. That green infrastructure as an urban parks, green roofs, and permeable surfaces play a vital role in enhancing the climate resilience in cities. These green spaces are not only provide aesthetic and recreational benefits and but help to mitigate the effects of climate change, such as heat island effects, flooding, air pollution. For the instance, urban forest and vegetated swells and absorb the rainwater for reducing the risk of flood. We have to using the trees in that near to the seas. It avoid the tsunami. It is the one of the major effect we are facing at the time of 2011. The sustainable mobility system such as electric vehicles, EVs, as a public transit and shared mobility services, which helps to reduce the heat, urban heat of an island. To formation of the island formation by heat effects. To reduce that, we have to analyze that the climate resilience infrastructures by green infrastructure solutions such as rain gardens, green roofs, permeable pavements, and can absorb the manage the storm water to reduce the flood risk and preventing the infrastructure damagement. Two another essential strategy is adopted in buildings are construction of flood prone and hurricane prone regions. The buildings can be designed with the elevated foundations and stronger basements and to develop the coastal areas in smart drainage systems by use of IoT management of AI monitor water levels in real time can help the cities to identify the flooding risk and to avoid the flood. To maintain the green infrastructure solutions such as rain gardens, green roofs, and permeable pavements. The energy efficient building designs and installation of smart HVAC systems and solar panels, battery of storage, and smart grids. The urban sustainability is defined as the zoning and planning of conservation of green spaces and ensuring the new technologies like AI by infrastructures management system, ITS, intelligent transportation system, EVs, electric vehicles, public transit networks, bike sharing programs, which helps to improve the economic adaptations. These are some slides to show. The technology system that gives and research and climate adaptation to exposure the climate change by the hazards to be managed and to be transferred to the urban resilience by recovery, adaptation, and resilience. In this resilience of smart cities, the policy to framework to the climate resilience in smart cities are to climate adaptation building planning, building codes and standards, and zoning regulations, planning using the humidity and gridders by energy policy systems. The energy policy can play a crucial role in forecasting the climate resilience by humidity of renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, and hydropower. Such reduces the dependence of fossil fuels and minimize the carbon emissions. The policies that interactive and the policy should be grid and dispersed in the energy systems and battery storage system of technologies. In this climate finance mechanism, we have to see the green bonds, climate resilience funds, and infrastructure renewable energy projects and resilience urban development. The public awareness and education policies are necessary to engage the systems and the climate resilience efforts by raising the awareness of the importance of the climate adaptation, the energy conservation and sustainable behaviors of the cities to forecast the programs of community workspace and public campaigns to inform the people to improve the public transport and implementing the energy saving mechanisms. The role of technology in enhancing the climate resilience in smart cities are major things are artificial intelligence, big data analytics of smart grids, remote sensing, IoT, and a lot of advanced features of big data analysis. That are the most important things to process the analysis of large databases with various sources according to that year and the smart gridders we have to follow that. Next. The sustainable solution for the smart city is the group of components of smart economy, group of components of smart healthcare, group of components of smart working places, and smart mobility, smart infrastructure, smart technology, smart environment, smart citizens. We have every one of the cities one is important for the smart city projects that improve the city, changing the external environmental and internal process. So the emerging trends having the smart grids and the remote sensing methods. In this remote sensing technology such as satellite, immigrancy of drones, crucial monitoring of effects of climate change in urban areas. These are that mapping of climate in risk such as areas of prone flooding, land erosion, heat islands, and satellites can provide the valuable data of an urban heat islands to deforestation and changes of land usage, which helps to monitoring the changes of climatic change. The climate modeling and predictive analysis by the technology of various cities to prepare the improve the climate change scenarios through the simultaneous of modeling of cities can predict the impact of climate change and infrastructure transportation system by public health and smart policies like blockchain technology and to improve the supply chain management and resource optimization. The blockchain can ensure the transparency and traceability in the sourcing of sustainable materials, energy usage, and wastewater management system by using of blockchain method. The policy of integration for climate adaptation is to be integrating the climate resilience into urban policy frameworks is essential to create the smart cities such as sustainable, adaptable, and prepared for the phases to climate related challenges and facing the master network of urban populations to increase the risk of climate related distributions such as extreme weather events, rising of sea levels, heat waves to become to improve the pronounced policy of integration in crucial to ensuring the climate resilience is not an afterthought but rather fundamental component of city planning, infrastructure development and resource management should be followed. The climate resilience policy should be addressed to multifunctional nature of urban vulnerabilities and these policies need to adaptable dynamic and responsible change of climate by incorporating the resilience of urban policy and cities of forecasting the development of most mitigates cause of climate changes and emission of reduction to prepare the impacts of rising of temperature and holistic policy to approach the required management system of ecosystem and protect the biodiversity and ensure the sector of society to improve that level of people handling the climate related distributions. That one of the key aspect of the policy integration is to improve the Paris Agreement. The cities can adopt the climate change action plans to include the specific measures and reducing the greenhouse to emission of promoting renewable energy and improving the climate adaptation. These plans should be measurable targets and establish the timelines for achieving them to allowing the cities to progress the adjacent to the strategies as needed. In addition to the mitigating the policy to making the limited understanding of concept of integration of climate adaptation by means of sustainable building materials and green roofs, flood resilient infrastructure, the integration of equity and justice to improve the quality and providing the financial support for climate adaptation to ensuring the affordable access and clean energy of public services to protecting the populations from the worst impact of the climate changes. These climate changes plays a crucial role to make the implementing of climate resilience policies to support the climate adaptation and mitigation projects like governments can leverage the variety of funding sources including national budget, international budget, climate funds to private sector investments of green bonds, sustainability linked loans and public and private partnerships, the smart grids and renewable energy infrastructures and green spaces to improve the quality of the life. These some of the building structures of the case studies. The climate resilient urban design, case 1, that case 1. This one is the post-hurricane Sandy resilience, New York City, USA. It has been affected one NOC plan, which aims the new response of the city resilient and the impact of flooding, heat waters, and rising of sea level, and to improve one of the key projects as east side coastal rising of sea levels. The resilient projects is elevated walkway and to protect the neighborhoods along the East River. The New York also worked as a green infrastructure to improve the storm water management, including the use of green roofs, rain gardens, and bio walls. The city can be integrated climate resilience by means of to improve the infrastructure and increasing the public awareness in the planning and future climate risk. The New York is showing how the cities can recover from the disaster and adapt for the future. This one is one of the case study from Singapore. The smart and sustainable urban development is in Singapore is one of the example for highly successful integration of smart technology with climate resilience in urban development. The city state that adaptive of comprehensive of approach of urban planning and the parameters In this sustainable Singapore blueprint, which includes the green buildings, energy efficient technology, water to energy systems, Singapore also is implemented an innovative technologies and solution in Marina Barrage of multi-purpose water reservoir, which helps to manage the storm water flood control, which protect that city in urban cooling. The city also utilized the smart technology to monitor the air quality, traffic, and energy consumption to maintain the good climate resilience and smart growth. This is one of the case study. Rotterdam, Netherlands. That is an innovative one. The innovative fertilization solution. The Rotterdam, located in low-lying coastal region, is highly vulnerable of highly rising of sea level and flood risk. The city has taken as productive approach of climate resilience through the innovative flood management strategies. The Rotterdam climate, which adaptation of the focusing the integrating water management into urban design, which ensuring the key projects of water plants, which has been maintained the multifunctional spaces that collect the water of maintain the city by flooding of buildings, green roofs to reduce the urban heat of island effects. The Rotterdam has been embraced to the sustainable urban planning by climate resilient urban environmental collaboration method. This is one of the smart design can protect the cities from the impacts of climate change. In Tokyo, the earthquake and the climate resilient interaction. In Tokyo, the location is seismically active area faces not only the challenge of earthquake, but also the growing impacts of climate change. The city has been successfully integrated the disaster preparedness of climate resilience through the comprehensive urban planning and infrastructure strategies. In Tokyo, urban greening planning focuses on increasing the green spaces to mitigate the urban heat islands effect, to reduce the flood control measures, and mega flood project and mega float project, which aims to create the floating flood barriers. Tokyo also utilized the smart technologies to including the advanced early warning system and early warning system to an earthquake, from the sustainable transport to encourage the electric vehicle, public transit system, and the resilient strategies in both natural disaster and climate change, creating city that can endure the multiple environmental challenges through technology of innovation and community enhancement. This is one of the best example. Then we go for Chennai. Chennai, we are all known very well. The climate resilience through integrated water management in coastal areas. In Chennai, the coastal city of southern India faces multiple climatic challenges, includes flooding, water scarcity, extreme temperatures, heavy weather. The city has undertaken several initiatives to enhance the climate resilience, particularly through integrated water management and sustainable urban planning. Chennai Reverse Eco Restoration Plan, which aim to rejuvenate the city river system, including the aim of Kuvam, Adayar, Kosalathalayar rivers to initiative the restoration of natural waterfeds to development of stormwater drainage to prevent the flooding during the heavy rains. We are every year facing our Chennai floods. Lot of drainage water will be came to our street and home. Inside that, we can't live as a peaceful in our Chennai city because there is a very poor management of drainage system, which enhancement of water flow, it increase that level of drainage system, it will be affect the entire public and the public utility. That additionally, Chennai has focused on sustainable water supply solutions such as implementation of desalination of plants to address the water scarcity. The city's stormwater drainage system has been upgraded to handle extreme rainfall effects to more efficiently reducing flood risk, and the rainwater gardens and urban parks are being incorporated in the city to enhance the water retention to reduce the urban heat of island effect. Chennai efforts are supported by public participation with local communicates activities involved in water management activities to environmental conservation of programs like climate resilient to urban environment to ensuring the both water scarcity and flood risk to manage efficiently for long-term sustainability of the city. Now we come to a conclusion. The jointly we have to make the sustainability and climate resilience will drive the growth of cities which not only capable of surviving but thriving despite of climate changes. There is a crucial cities worldwide continue in invest of smart technologies and sustainable solutions for climate adaptability and infrastructure ensuring the resilience to the impacts of climate change by climate resilience of smart city projects is more urgent than ever. We must collectively, prioritatively, and building urban environments should be adopt and mitigate the climate change and through continued innovation, collaboration, and strategic planning to improve our future growth and climate resilience by the save our people and the planet. Thank you.
Sir, thank you
Thank
for,
you, everyone.
thank you, sir, for your wonderful presentation and sharing your knowledge, sir. Any
Thank you very much.
participants? Okay, okay. Sir, sir,
Any
any
queries?
participants have queries, sir? Sir, okay, sir. Thank you for your sharing your knowledge, sir. Thank you, sir. We can end the session, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for
Okay.
giving a nice opportunity to me.
Okay, okay, sir. Very much thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. Sir, dear participants, the attendance and the feedback link will be shared in the chat box. Please update it. For both the sessions, the link will be shared. Don't forget to put the attendance for both the sessions.